Good evening, folks. How are you? Thank you for coming tonight. It's a beautiful, warm, late afternoon here in Northern California. And I've been very relaxed today, almost sleepy and tired. I think I've been pretty charged up the last few days. I'm excited about my work. I was excited about doing this talk on the Akashic Records. I'm feeling I've never felt more empowered in my whole life. I'm on fire. It's great. All right. Well, it is now 5 o'clock, and that's our start time here in California. So welcome to the introduction to accessing the Akashic Records. I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience, what I know, what I've been through, some of the questions people have about the Akashic Records. And I just want to introduce you to it. It seems so foreign for a lot of people, or it's just unknown territory. So it's a good thing to tune into. My name is Annie. I'm with AnnieChannels.com. That's my business. I do Akashic Records readings, I lead guided meditations, and I teach classes in spiritual growth, health and healing through the Akashic Records. And I teach people how to access their Akashic Records. So the general place to start in introducing you to the Akashic Records is the word, the Akasha. What the heck is that? It's a Sanskrit word that means primary substance from which all things are formed. So it's literally raw energy before our feelings and thoughts get to it and form it into substantial physical things. And it's also a soul level plane of consciousness that is very, very delicate and very receptive, that records everything a soul has ever thought, said, or done. So it's being recorded, folks. This computer system, this video stuff, not new. This is all in the Akashic Records. And as such, it's a huge, huge information resource for you and I and everybody who's interested in utilizing it to gain knowledge about themselves, their soul's purposes, their purpose for living, their reasons for relationships with this person or that person, their reasons for having illnesses, their how they choose and make decisions. It's a wonderful resource for all of us, for practical, for spiritual, for physical, for business, for finances, everything. The thing is, the Akashic Records are fueled by our questions. The answers that are provided come from the quality of our questions. So if we just kind of show up and go, okay, entertain me today, or show me a past life just because like this is past life TV or something, right? It's not. They're serious. One reason it's serious is because we open the Akashic Records with a prayer, and we close the Akashic Records with a prayer. And that sets a spiritually sanctified, safe, and sacred space for an inquiry about things that are deeply important to human beings that they have a lot of feelings about. And you're taken very seriously in the Akashic Records, but you're also invited to laugh and joy and be in pleasure and to see the humor and the soul's agenda for you. Well, at least that's the way it comes across to me in my world. um, so it seems like with all the teachers I've been studying, that to set this sacred space, we open with a prayer and we close with a prayer. The words are different. Sometimes the beings that are being evoked are different or have different names or different purposes. It doesn't really matter as far as I can tell. The energy is the distinguishing feature. In the Akashic Records, it's always energy first, information second. Energy first, information second. So if I'm doing a reading, I may be looking for words or a way to explain something to a client. And what may make the most difference is for me to describe the energy that I'm receiving and associating with their question and with the answer to their question. And that often leads to the bigger picture or to what they really came to find out about. And the reading will weave these questions they have together and the answers. It's like it just sort of shows up as this beautiful whole picture that's holistic and large and vast and yet detailed and precise and perfect in nature. One of the other things about the Akashic Records, since it's a soul level plane of consciousness, we're getting in touch with the soul. We are in the light of the soul. We are falling in love again with our soul, and our soul is falling in love again with us. Actually, it never left, but we have gotten distracted and pulled away by different things. And that might have just been what our soul wanted for us. So it's a soul level plane of consciousness, and getting in touch with the soul and being in the soul's light is very good for us. It's healing, it's educating, it's calming, it's validating. It's like being with your best friend that you don't have to explain yourself about who you are and why you're that way, or justify your actions or your mistakes. Of course you made that mistake. It's perfect. It's just what we had in mind. That was so you could learn this and that, and you probably couldn't have learned it in any other way. So it's just how it works. The Akashic Records are governed by three absolutes: judge not, fear not, and resist not. And as such, the space is so open and loving and accepting and non-judgmental. It just feels like, oh, I could just sit here in the sunlight of the spirit and be happy and content and fulfilled. And it's very healing to be in this space and be in the light of your soul in this environment. This culture of respect and kindness and compassion is very, very healing. So even if the words may not be as precise, there is a sensation of consciousness that comes forth out of the Akashic Records that is very soothing and complete and whole and can see the larger picture. So to go over, I worked with a few teachers and I study a few things. The one that I am most familiar with is my beautiful, I'm going to get this stuff right, Linda Howe, Dr. Linda Howe, wrote the book, How to Read the Akashic Records, Accessing the Archive of the Soul's Entire Journey. This is what got all of this stuff going. I've been a channel for over 30 years, since 1987, and I channeled my guide, and I love working with my guide. I still love working with my guide. My guide is really good. But I feel like my guide brought me to the Akashic Records and then kind of let me go for a while and let me get steeped in the Akashic Records and really, really explore healing knowledge, how to access them, doing readings, doing personal inner work through my own Akashic Records, helping others do interpersonal work through the Akashic Records. Been very, very powerful. But anyway, Linda Howe, really, she got it all started. The truth is, I bought the book as a Christmas gift for my boyfriend in 2013. And when he started reading it in January of 2014, he said, you know, Annie, this is right up your alley. You know, I think you'd like this. Well, I took the book and went, oh, I started reading it. He's never seen it since. And I've done every class that Dr. Linda Howe has done. And I'm also a teacher for her work on how to read the records and advanced practitioner. I'm also an advanced teacher, so I can teach healing through the Akashic Records. And I love her work. I love her work. Anyway, so she's very thorough. She's an excellent teacher. Just lays it out so clearly that you can follow along, and son of a gun, the darn stuff works. But the records are kind of like that. They've got the energy behind them that the smallest desire within you to access the Akashic Records and to be useful through the Akashic Records, you can get in and you can work with them in a very effective way. This is Lisa Barnett. Whoops, let's get her over here. Her book is The Infinite Wisdom of the Akashic Records. And she's also an excellent teacher. She has a wisdom school, an Akashic Wisdom School here in Marin County. And a lot of respect for her. She has a different point of view. She goes in with a different prayer. She's got several different prayers. She has a much more galactic perspective, or a way of getting at the galactic information if you're from another planet or a different, been with alien cultures that are not human, and explored that a lot in your lifetime. And that's just skimming the very, very surface of her work. Her work's effective. It's been around for a long time. I believe Linda Howe and Lisa Barnett have also been in the same schools of study and come from the original lineage that kind of began this prayer method of accessing the Akashic Records, which I totally appreciate. I also read this book, whoopsie, by Akemi. Let me get this closer. Why We Are Born, Remembering Our Purpose Through the Akashic Records by Akemi G. And it really just covers a lot of good information. And it is so cool and smooth and calming and very peaceful reading. You know, humans have been fraught with torture and trauma and a lot of really difficult things most of their lives, repetitively over multiple past lives and experiences. And so it's nice reading in the Akashic Records. For me, it's just like there's a solution to everything. And there's a reason for everything. And every reason stacks up to more spiritual growth and greater consciousness and more wisdom and more compassion. And how can I love myself and others unconditionally? Really. This is the book I'm working in now. It's called Opening the Akashic Records by Maureen St. Germain. And her method is also using a prayer, and she goes in after the information in a different way, and it's good to get this well-rounded point of view and see the commonalities of everybody's method of accessing the Akashic Records. Let's just say it right out. If you're new to doing readings or channeling or anything like this, and you are getting the itch to do this or study this, working in the Akashic Records is probably one of the safest, most thoroughly studied and comprehensive avenues you can choose. It is 100% God light. It is safe. It's sacred. You are safe. And it takes into account your sacredness as well. If you're getting into opening the records or really working with your own intuition or your own spiritual knowingness, your sense of knowing, this is great. And saying it right out, your self-doubt is the price of admission. Giving it up. You just got to give up your self-doubt and go for it and get what you get. Have what you have. Don't second guess yourself too much, because I notice throughout my readings, when I come across a piece of information, it seems like it's a little far-fetched, or maybe it's a little overly personal. We don't really know each other, and here I'm going to bring up your, you name it, something very private or intimate. And I mention that, and I say, if you want me to go ahead, I will. And I bring that piece of information forward, and they're like, that is what I came here to know. So even though I was questioning myself or the information, or not too certain about presenting it, or not wanting to step on somebody's toes or bring up something that would be morally objectionable, it's the thing. It's just the thing that's needed at that moment. So it's a good thing to do. Accessing the Akashic records. Just saying the prayer changes your consciousness. It opens it up to vistas of knowledge and expansion and energy. It opens up the physical energies in our bodies. It brings in the consciousness of my perfect, beautiful, uncontaminated, undamaged, willing and able soul that is just trying to bring me along step by step on this path of growth and expansion and evolution towards oneness and compassion for all. Being in the Akashic records feels vast yet close and personal and intimate and tender and so loving almost like my sense of a sweet mother with a brand new newborn, just wanting to be so loving with this child. So protective, but so embracing and so willing to give all so this child can grow up and thrive and be its beautiful self. What else did you want me to talk about here, masters, teachers, and loved ones? Okay, we'll break it down a little bit. So the lords of the Akashic records they serve several different purposes. They are the guardians of the records, and they ensure that the records are always pristine and never, ever corrupted or messed with. It's great. They also are the ones, when we go in to do a reading, they're the ones that say, this is the information that will most suit this person at this time. It's going to bring the most energy forward and give them the biggest jump forward. And that goes through the masters, the teachers, and the loved ones. Now, masters are the beings of light who have been with your soul since your soul was conceived. Since you were sparked into existence by the great creator, these beautiful beautiful, high beings of light rush to your side, and they are with you for your entire journey. You can count on them for love and compassion and direction and guidance and comfort and all that stuff. So the teachers are lesson specific. So what I always say is, if I need a teacher for love or money or trust or guilt or, any topic, I will have a teacher for that topic, and that teacher will work with me until I've learned everything that teacher has to teach me, and then they go on and work with another student. And they can be beings of light, they can be ascended ones, they can just be really high level service beings. They may have been on Earth, had a lifetime or many lifetimes on Earth, and may not have. But that doesn't seem to matter. And with the masters and the teachers, they are not interested in recognition. They're not interested in being known. They don't want to be revered. They don't want your everlasting devotion and sacrifice. Not at all. They just want to be with you and help you on your way in a very, very loving and kind way. So they're terrific. The information also can come through loved ones, which are people you've known in this lifetime who are now dead, but they've decided to either keep an eye on you and watch your progress, or sometimes they're there to do a completion with you. If you knew them and you had a close relationship and there was something incomplete, but when they died, then that might get completed. It might not. They might just be there to support you from the sidelines. That can be true also. And combined, this trio of beings or groups of beings, it can be many beings, in my experience, they work together to deliver the information in the highest and best way for you. Not for somebody else, but for you. So, some say that spirit guides, like my spiritual guide that I've channeled all these years, or guardian angels or saints, that these beings are in a different section of the Akashic records. That may be true. It doesn't mean they're not accessible. And in my experience, when I'm opening the records, there can be any number or one representative of the masters, teachers, and loved ones, or beings of light who are with you, helping you, or with whom you have some kind of relationship. If you have a deep belief and you have a working relationship with Archangel Michael or Raphael or one of those biggies, then they sometimes show up for your reading, and they will be here because it makes you feel calm and safe, and it's a connection that is familiar to you and makes you comfortable. And we want you at ease. We want you to be as receptive as possible. There have been, when I open the records, let me put it this way, when I open your Akashic records and I recite the sacred prayer, it's a very experiential thing for me. I'm feeling the energy of the Akashic records themselves, and I'm seeing you through the light of the Akashic records, and I'm seeing you through the eyes of the lords of the records. And that is I feel very privileged and very honored to have the opportunity to serve in this way. And it is a light-filled, heart-opening, tender experience. And it makes people feel very safe. And sometimes what comes through is they'll start talking to me right away and say, ask them about the shoulder and the neck, and then I'll get a pain in the lower back, and then I'm supposed to talk about that, or the pain in the neck, whatever. And or what's this feeling of pressure on your shoulders? Are you carrying a big weight? Are you feeling guilty? Are you burdened with something? Um, and, if they tell me to talk about something in the gut, digestion, or an obstacle, or a blockage of some sort, then it'll show up in that way. And they'll show me body parts or body processes. They'll show me what parts of the body might be hungry for light, or needing more of your love and attention. Often, especially with illnesses or injuries, then we want to pull back out of the body and out of that section of the body that's either ill or damaged or under repair or just had surgery. But the truth is, you should send your love in there. Send your love into that part of your body and just love it up all you can. Because your body will love you for it. Don't withdraw. Don't pull back the life force energy. Don't withhold the life force energy. You want to bless it with your life force energy and with your heartfelt love and appreciation for it. That helps a lot. So that kind of thing will show up when I open the records in the prayer. When I first started doing Akashic Records readings, it was as if the masters, teachers, and loved ones would sort of appear on one side. Like masters up here, teachers right here, and loved ones. Oops, you can't see my hand. Kind of smaller. They were sort of in successive sizes. Largest was the masters, medium size were the teachers, and the smaller ones were the loved ones or people you've known in this lifetime who are now dead. And they would, raise their hand to, I have something to say. And so I would say, your master's saying this, or your teachers are saying that. And now it's all one long, continuous conversation with you and your soul. And your soul's energy coming in. And oftentimes in a reading, they'll have me bring the person's soul energy in more completely so that they feel connected and at one with the soul, so that they trust their soul. And if you ask me, in our culture, and with perhaps some versions of Christianity or some versions of spirituality, it feels as if we don't own our own souls. Like God owns them, and for some reason we're supposed to take care of them, but we don't really know how. Nobody ever told us how to do that. So it's like really mystifying. And, I'm just not going to mess with that because I don't have any information about that, right? Or I don't have any education. So filling this soul light in to the body, bringing it inward to the body, really connects you with it and feels really essential. And it can give you that leg up, that step up, and it can fuel the next move in your life, the next phase. It can light your fire, can get you going. It can move you in a healing sense, physical healing, emotional healing, all that kind of stuff. The soul's light, it's like the missing link. And to own our own souls, to take them in like precious beings and love them and trust that our souls are perfect and loving and guiding us absolutely in everything that we're supposed to be doing on our path is such a pleasure. And it's so much easier than going, God, I will hope I'm doing the right thing. Oh, Jiminy Crickets, what if this isn't it? And, what do I know? the doubt, that, and how it triggers the mind like, now we're going to talk about it in our head. Yikes. But the soul comes in and it's so clear and it's so beautiful and it's so effective. It's unbeatable, folks. It's a worthwhile experience. And the Akashic records are the bridge of light between you, the human, your soul, and source. It's like that constancy of the essential light that's in the center of us, going up through our soul and up to source. And suddenly we're linked up and we belong and everything is right. Everything feels like it falls right into place. It's wonderful. Some of the other things that happen in a reading, I will get visions, and my job is to describe the vision that I'm receiving. I will get energy sensations like, oh my gosh, the energy just went into my side and it moved me over to one side of my chair and I'm feeling a little off balance, and then coming back into balance, but it's like things are better than they were before. So my job is to describe to you what's going on with the energy, as well as like the words or the pictures. I will get past lives. I will see the ancestors like this silhouetted line of beings behind you, stacked up for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, going back to your way back. And sometimes I'll see how there's been this belief system or this energetic thing that the ancestors have projected from on one generation to the next, and we can find out why did that ancestor think that was the approach that was going to help everybody thrive, live, survive, escape, whatever, be loved, all of that kind of stuff. When I see past lives, I try to get a sense of time, if that's important. I may get a number, or, it was between 1400 and 1433, something like that. And then there will be a visual description, and there's a sense of what the person and who that person was in that lifetime. Were they male or female? Were they poor, rich, medium? Were they ambitious? Were they holding back? Were they fearful? Were they brave? Were they courageous? Did they do something incredible in that lifetime? Or did they make a vow to a relative or a former partner or spouse that, is still affecting them today? Or I'll look around the edges and try to get a sense of what's the environment. Are we indoors or out? Are we in around a mud hut or walking in mud? Or are we being carried on horseback or in a carriage? What's the state of being of the person? What's their state of wealth and health? And they're the largest drive that is controlling them. I look around and I try to see if there are any clues in the room. If we're indoors, so what's on the countertop? What kind of room are we in? What is the nature of their relationship with their spouse, or their relationships within their family or in the community they're in? And why is that important? That will come across. Why it's important is kind of critical, don't you think? Like, otherwise, why would we show you a past life? Because showing you a past life shows you how either a belief got started, or why you have this kind of relationship with that person, or and what it's going to take to to set you free. And you know, in terms of release and freedom and going on, moving on from here in the Akashic Records, it's really great to feel the masters, teachers, and loved ones literally like pulling off the old energy and removing it from that person so that they can be in the present time and in the present lifetime just as thoroughly and fully embrace who they are now. Because you don't want to live that lifetime. You want to live this lifetime. And letting go of that may be huge for your soul's agenda for you. So that's important to bring up. Sometimes I can go into a body part or see the cause of an injury or illness or a weakness or an imbalance or something in the body part. Oh, that's because you got a spear in the leg back in 500 BC and it was your best buddy who poked you, and you just you lasted for a couple of weeks, but then you died of infection and it was terrible, and you were both really sad about it, and like the story. But it will demonstrate the wound and why it's back in your life at this time, and how it can be released, how it can be healed. And there also are times when I can actually go into the body and talk to the cells and get a sense of what's up, what do you need, what's wrong, how can we work with this, how can we heal you, how can we learn to love you and give you what you need, and how can we get the masters, teachers, and loved ones to help us do that? Oh, they're good at that. If it's like letting go of something and we just need to have them take it out and away, they do. They just come and get it and march off to wherever they go and send it back up to source. So the point being about this talk is I want you to be in my class. I'm teaching an online class in how to access the Akashic Records. And this is going to be 3 Wednesdays in October, starting the 13th. Wait a minute. Oh, Jiminy Crickets, I should know this. I'm a little in my records. So normal reality is not computing. It's the last day is October 30th. Second day is the 23rd, and the first day is the October 16th. And it's going to be from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. online, California time. Anybody is welcome. You do not have to have experience with this. You're going to learn how. You're just going to be a beginner and dive right in. You'd be surprised what you get and what can come out of your mouth and what you can describe about what you're experiencing, or just the little symbols that you're seeing and being guided to bring forth. That's the message. What are you being guided to bring forth? So this class, I'll teach you what I do. And I've been at this for quite a long time. I have tons of experience with this. I did readings for 25 years with my guide. And then I came into the Akashic Records, and now I do Akashic Records readings. And to date, I've probably done, pushing 1,200 Akashic Records readings in the last 5 years. So little experience. And this is a no-fault science. You will bring through the information and energy that is most suitable to you, for you, how you learn the best. It's really organized for you to have a win. And so you can just relax and be a beginner and kind of follow along and go, oh my God, it works. And we'll do exercises that teach you and help you explore. And once you know how to open your records, I tell you, questions are queen. You can ask anything. Like, what can I know about this? Or what's the truth about me and whatever, the questions are endless, and you can ask and ask and ask and receive information to your heart's delight. It's really wonderful. The truth is, I have downloaded complete classes in my Akashic records, like 3, maybe 4 different complete classes in my Akashic records that have been so satisfying to teach and so useful for others to know. It's very useful for that. So I want you to do my class. Oh, it's only $244, for like, what is that, 5.5 hours times 3, about 16, 17 hours worth of instruction. And you will be guided to do wonderful work, really. And it's going to take some practice. Not everybody is like, comes out the chute and is the reader of the century. Even when I started channeling, I was like, I didn't know whether I was doing the right thing. And here I learned how in my kitchen by myself, and just kind of got acquainted with my guide and sort of sat in the energy of my guide and felt the energy, but I didn't really have a lot of words, and the name I got was a 12-syllable Hindi word, and I couldn't remember it, so I asked for a different name. So I got a different name, and that was much better. And then when I went to the class that I had to learn to channel for so I could be in the class, we had to do readings for each other, and people said, well, Amy, you're pretty good at this. I'm like, really? I mean, how would I know? I never did it before. So it takes some practice. You got to get good at it. Not the best swimmer when you first get in the water, but you know what? If you stick with it, you practice, and you write down, make notes about what you're getting, and really describe, you are going to be amazed at what you get. So the way that you sign up for this is you can go on my website. I have a really nice website. I like my website. It's www.ANNIECHANNELS.com, AnnieChannels.com. And on the events page, there will be sign up buttons that you can use. You send me $244 by Venmo or PayPal, I'm going to know what you're up to, because that's the number. That's the magic number for how to read the Akashic Records or accessing the Akashic Records. Or send me an email. How do I sign up for this class? I got to be in this class. Believe me, when you know that it's time for you to open the records and be in your Akashic Records, there's really nothing that will stop you. That's my experience. When it's your time, it's your time. And the world, the universe will conspire with you to get you your wish and to get you in the class. If you have questions, give me a call. My phone number is 415-846-2412. And my email address is also AnnieChannels@gmail. So remember that channels is plural. AnnieChannels@gmail.com. So let me see what we have to do next. Open your mouth and remove all doubt. Talk to me, email me, push some buttons. If you're not sure if the class is for you, have a short reading with me. Have a half-hour reading. It's only $85. We do it on the phone. I record it for you so you can listen to it again. It's really great. And we'll ask 1 or 2 questions in a half-hour reading to really get to the root of the issue and to see where the true cheese and inspiration is in your Akashic Records. And you'll have a sense, oh yeah, this is for me. This is for me. I got to have this thing. I believe when I run out of words, which doesn't happen often, usually means we're at the end of the reading. So just to demonstrate for this is the closing prayer. I had my records open for the whole thing, this whole conversation. This is the closing prayer. I thank the Holy Spirit for love, protection, and healing received this day. I thank the Akashic beings of light for their guidance. And I thank the Lords of the Akashic Records for their assistance. The divine portal and the Akashic Records are now closed. Amen, amen, amen. So the class is October 16th, 23rd, and 30th from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. online here on Zoom from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And that's California time. And that's only $244. Treat yourself. You'll love it. Thank you. It's been my pleasure.